Hi everyone, welcome back to AFTV. We've got the starting 11 show and predictions. I'm here with Cecil. How you doing, Cecil?
Alright, sorry, you caught me mid chocolate eating.
Mid
It's
chocolate.
Christmas. It's
You
coming up.
really?
It's not Christmas yet, but it's on the way, and I've got Christmas chocolate and it's in my mouth. So apologies. How are you? I'm
Yeah,
good.
I'm good. I'm still self-isolating. Not long to go though, and you are still.
I'm done.
Wow, you're done.
I'm out.
Wow.
I'm free. I'm free. I'm out on the streets. People, if you see me, well, if you see me, in it. Big up everyone. I'm free though.
Well
No,
done. We hope
I'm outside.
everyone obviously watching this is keeping safe, keeping healthy. Just remember to look after yourselves, abide by government rules and all that wherever you are in the world. And yeah, let's go into this game because I saw one of the questions early on saying, "Is this game going ahead?" And the answer is yes, it is. As of now, I mean, they don't shy away from cancelling these games last minute.
Yeah.
But
Have you seen?
yeah.
Sorry, James Scott. Have you seen Robbie's title for Road Trip? Is this game going to be on? That's his title.
That's his title.
That's his title. I'm like, bro, you're on the way there. Like, if they cancel it, that is a killer.
Guys 10 minutes out of Leeds and they cancel the game. Imagine. But the thing is that in fairness to all the other games, there had been suggestions that it would be cancelled, whereas there's no reason. It's just Leeds have a mad injury list, but that's nothing to do with COVID. So that's maybe another discussion to have and around Arsenal. In fact, let's bring up the fixtures for this weekend because there's very few going ahead. And I think it's worth discussing it, especially because you've been a player, Cecil, and I kind of want to get your opinion from a player's perspective. We've got Man United, Brighton's been postponed,
Yep.
Villa, Burnley postponed, Southampton, Brentford, Watford, Palace, West Ham, Norwich. All those games were meant to go ahead today between 12:30 and 3 o'clock. None of them have. Leeds, Arsenal is going ahead, and I see no reason why it should be called off at the minute. I mean, in terms of that individual game. Then you've got Everton, Leicester's been postponed, and then Newcastle City, Wolves, Chelsea, and Spurs, Liverpool, all to go ahead tomorrow. But when you look at Spurs, Liverpool, Spurs were kind of the first side to have these major COVID issues. So what are we saying, that they're all fit and good to go now? I mean, I know 10 days has probably passed, but are they? Have they trained? Are they fit to come straight back in? Has it not spread throughout the camp? I don't know. Obviously, rivalries aside, we of course wish them all the best, and there's bigger things at play here. But that's a really strange situation that they are set to go ahead against Liverpool tomorrow. It's all a bit mad, Tess. Where do you, as a former kind of player, stand on this? Do you just think there should be a 2-week circuit break and done, and we come back and everyone's good?
It's a tough one because I know there's word here in the UK that after Boxing Day they're going to have this 2-week circuit lockdown. When it comes in terms of football, I don't think I think pausing the Premier League, once you pause it, it's difficult to then get things back going again. I think if you can stop it completely, that's where we'll struggle to get kind of the momentum, getting the games back on and everyone back in play. I think keeping certain games on, like this game, if there's no cases or no cases from players, I think it makes sense to try and keep the Premier League running. And I'm going to be honest, I went out into the streets of London. I went out to the streets of London and asked people about today about what would you do if the Premier League was paused and stopped completely. And a lot of fans I spoke with, they were like, I don't know what I would do. Last time I struggled a lot in the third when they stopped football. So I think us as football lovers as well, it's really difficult for us to take as well. As much as I understand the severity of the situation, but if games can still be on, I'll say keep them on. Whether if the fans going into grounds can be reduced, I think that'll be a good solution to this, or maybe stop the fans going in for a little period while they kind of get control of it. But yeah, I think keep football going. I think a lot of people use it through this Christmas period as well. Like it's a lot of games, a lot of fixtures. I think it's a lot of people's like downtime and their enjoyment through this Christmas period. So for me as a player. No, so for me as a fan, sorry, keep it going. But if I was a player, I already know, I'm going to be completely honest, footballers hate this period. Everyone knows they've got to train as much as they can. They normally miss Christmas. They have to cut Christmas early with their families. They normally have a game on Boxing Day. We used to have a game on Boxing Day. So we used to have like a morning session. Morning session. Oh, you have to go in early for the game. And then on Christmas Day, you'd have a morning session. You have to go see your family after that. So I don't know. I think the players ideally may want a break, but I think for like the sport and for fans and whatnot, and for the people I think that are really important, like the fans, I think it should be kept on if there's not enough cases.
There's no doubt football is a big part of the Christmas tradition here in the UK, but also it's a big part of what got a lot of people through lockdown. You know, was the return of football, was giving them regular matches to watch. We'll discuss it from a player's perspective and a kind of fairness perspective in a sec. For people asking about Turkish going to be on the watch along. Lee might be joining us on the starting 11, but if not, he'll definitely be on the watch along. There was a good question. I'm just going to see if I can find it in the comment section.
Just quickly, while you find that comment, James, it's very interesting. They pressure Mikel Arteta in his press conferences about what do you think the right rules should be, or what do you feel a bit aggrieved, obviously, because when we had the start of the season, we had players out with COVID. We continue to play, but teams sometimes they're saying, "Oh, well, no, we haven't got enough players to field this game, so we're going to postpone it because of COVID." But yeah, we had to play our games against Brentford and whatnot when we as Arsenal side, we didn't have enough players to field the game, but we continued to play with the likes of, obviously, Balogun stepped in that game. I see why they're asking him, but I've got to respect Arteta's approach to it. He hasn't really been sour about it. He just continues. He says, "I'm not the guy to speak about the rules. I'm just here to do what's best for the league, and I'm just doing what is told." But he seems to be quite alright.
I think it was Jurgen Klopp who asked the question. He said, "Why aren't?" And I might be wrong, guys. I might be wrong, but this is one of those things you see skimming through Twitter, and I think I sort of clicked on some of his quotes, and I think Jurgen Klopp asked, why are clubs not disclosing how many cases they've got? Because what's there to hide? And actually, then that raises. See, when I saw a lot of Arsenal fans saying, "Well, if Spurs have had games cancelled, why didn't we have Brentford?" It's very different. Spurs had like 9 players and 5 or 6 staff, something ridiculous like that. That's a lot. Whilst we had a problem, it was more that affected key players, and that's what we were saying. We were missing Ben White, we were missing Aubameyang and Lacazette, we were missing, and then Partey had an injury, Gabriel had an injury. So it was more, Ramsey hadn't signed, Tomiyasu wasn't there. So it was slightly different. In terms of the numbers and the amount we had, it wasn't so bad. But it does raise a good point, well, how many do you need to have for it to be postponable? Because players get ill and you push through that, but this is obviously very, very different, and I completely acknowledge it. So it's a weird situation. I'm glad these games are being postponed for the safety of the players, and I think it's the right thing. But it then just begs the other question: should Arsenal be allowed to then carry on with Leeds? Because let's take this to a footballing perspective now. Arsenal last 2 games, 2 wins on the bounce, in decent form. Forget that it's a depleted Leeds because of injuries and all that. This is Arsenal in a rich vein of form a little bit, and we could just be racking up the points while everyone's got to then come back and play their games, in a tight schedule.
I don't mind
From an Arsenal perspective, it's an advantage. But from a fairness, but you could say, look, it was unfair of Arsenal to be made to play the Brentford game, and that's another side of it. But I'm just saying that I just wonder whether. Let's just. By the way, I think today's gonna be a tough match. I think today's gonna be a really tough match. But let's say we win. Arsenal have been racking up the points while everyone else's games in hand are in far more awkward circumstances. We mentioned the fact that it's a tight fixture schedule as it is, but then you've heard players say that since they've come back, they've not quite been the same. I think Kevin De Bruyne said after his game the other day that he's starting to find his best because it's taken him a while to really get back to it. So it raises a lot of problems, and maybe the kind of problems that a 2-week circuit breaker might resolve. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, guys. I'm not here to kind of give them.
Yeah, James, we're not the people. We're not the people to make the orders or give the solutions to this. But I think I do hear what you're saying. I think coming back from COVID as a player will be like you just said there, tricky. I know Kevin De Bruyne did mention that, obviously fitness wise. And trying to get into a rhythm again is going to be quite tricky for the players. And I actually think they're going to probably cut down on training, like what they did before, when they had people training in groups and in different time slots. That might get to that stage, which I think also will have an effect on the clubs.
Well, Arsenal have already adopted their COVID protocol of having to test people in the car before they come into the ground. I think certain grounds have certain training grounds have locked off certain areas. Let me ask you, I keep mentioning this as a former player. What would you want right now? What would you want? Would you want the break? Would you want to just take it and then play the fixtures back to back later? Or do you want to just carry on while you're okay to carry on?
James, this is a tough question.
It's a really tough because there's so much context to it all.
Right.
There's so much.
Right. I think for me, you'd want to keep with the momentum. You want to get into, as a footballer, you live by a routine. It's very structured. You know, we need to be. It's very, like I said, it's very structured. So I think for me, you'd kind of want it to carry on. Plus, this is one thing I think that goes over a lot of people's heads. Arsenal haven't got Europe football this season, so they haven't got too many midweek games. Yes, currently we have had them, but I think due to that, we've actually benefited by not going abroad and having to do all this crazy stuff and coming back and being fatigued, players getting injured. So I feel like this is the season for us to capitalize on. And I think breaking it up may stop the momentum of this side. There's been I've criticised Arteta for changing up the team too often. Me and you spoke about informed players dropping them. I think once you lose the momentum, this Arsenal side fades a little bit, and I feel you want to kind of keep it going. That doesn't talk about the severity of COVID. I just think for an Arsenal side and as a fan, more than a player, I'd want it to continue. If I was going from a player's perspective, I'll just say, like I said before, the Christmas period, James, as a player, you just want to be with your family. I'm going to be honest, but more time, work is just work. Like you have to be in. You get fined heavily for being late for Christmas on Boxing Day or Christmas training and whatnot. So I think as a player, they're going to want to be with their families and whatnot. But for as a fan, you want to see Arsenal continue, keep going through. I want to watch it. I want to be enjoying my Christmas and watching Arsenal win. I'm excited for that little Christmas run. I'm excited to keep us in that top 4 position. I think stopping it will throw me off. And what am I going to do? What are we going to do? Like, if James, what are we going to, if it stops, bro? Like, what are we going to be doing? Like, chili challenges and freaking, and I don't know, Tinder videos for on AFTV? Like, I don't know. Right. Like, what do we do? Like,
first thing I'm doing is a Spider-Man review once I get to bloody see it. Because
oh my God. I am. So then, just quickly. I know, listen, guys, I'm sorry. I know we've got to talk about football. But listen, James said if I do any spoilers, that's our friendship over. So, I'm not going to do any spoilers.
Like might tender resignation kind of levels. So let's not discuss. But anyone who has seen it, enjoy. I shouldn't have said that because now people are probably going to spam it in the comment section. So maybe you should take over the comment section.
Yeah, I'll take over it. Grumpy Doc says no spoilers. I won't spoil it, but the film is lit. Anyway, but back to.
Let me look at the super chats. Kieran says, "Was just thinking, wonder if Arsenal were waiting for our Amazon documentary to get top 4 again. Big up you both." Well, that would have been amazingly calculated. I don't think Arsenal would have agreed to a documentary if they didn't think they were going to have some good things to show. Nishant with the super chat says, teams with postponed matches will have advantage. They will have players they would buy in Jan, and if they have other injuries now, injured players would also recover and would be available later. Teams with postponed matches will have advantage.
Turkish, get out of here, man.
Why? What's he said?
He said, did I just step into Spider-Man fan TV?
We spoke about it for 10 seconds.
Literally.
And he jumps in at that moment. The 11s are coming out imminently, guys. So just
Turkish will be here as well, everyone. He'll be on as well. Big up Turkish as well, always. The 11s. It should be out now, surely.
Yeah,
it's got to be the same team. The
news is that we're unchanged. I'm just waiting for official confirmation. A few journalists reporting that. We've got one more super chat that's just come in here. The rules in Premier League is that if you are unvaccinated or one of your teammates tests positive, you yourself have to isolate for 10 days. I think this is what clubs are struggling with right now. Now, that's, in fairness, speculation, but potentially a really good point where maybe the situation is that people are isolating because maybe there's 1 or 2, other people having to isolate, and that obviously creates a knock-on effect. So,
James, quickly, that's probably why clubs aren't telling specifics of who's got it, what player has it. That's probably why. And I understand Klopp saying what you're trying to hide, but I think that's what clubs. I don't know. This is me speculating, but they might be thinking, it's this staff member in catering's got COVID, so that team has to isolate. I don't think they want to kind of out like this player has it, so then the whole team kind of has to isolate. But that's me speculating. I don't know, but I can see why clubs are trying to not be specific, but it's not the right thing.
I'll tell you what, the biggest breaking news, I'm about to read the 11, is that we're wearing our third kit. Not seen that.
I know. I saw on Arsenal's Instagram that they're wearing it. And
not seen that since Brentford.
James, was Xhaka the captain for that game? Sorry, quickly, because there's an image of him playing in that third kit with the captain's armband. And I'm like, when did that happen?
I think he was. Yeah.
Okay.
You think,
I think he was, yeah.
Aubameyang were out. Yeah. Here's the 11, guys. It's unchanged. Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel and Tierney make the goalkeeper on back four. Partey and Xhaka are the two in front of them, with Saka, Odegaard and Martinelli behind Lacazette.
Right. So the big question for me, is Smith Rowe being hard done by here?
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to read the comments. You can read the comments because I'm so scared that I've just invited, just a wave of spoilers. So I'm letting you read the comments. But
no, people are saying he's not hard done by. No Lokonga on the bench though. Question mark.
Might be a slight niggle, might be a slight injury. In fact, let's have a little look at that as well.
Yeah. We've got a super chat here from Bijou. Says, guys, if we win the next 3 games convincingly, what becomes priority signing in January? Up the Gunners. I predict a 5-0. Mad respect for Oba, but it's time. We need a striker. The thing is, am I being outlandish and crazy to think that we can't bring in a striker this January? Because I know we never have a great January is not really the window for it, but I think that should be priority number 1. I actually don't care about anything. Or any player that comes in apart from a striker this window. I don't know what else needs to be in this team right now that can. Well, actually, no, we need midfielders and whatnot. But I think a striker should be priority number 1, and it should be done in January. If we're serious about wanting to stay top 4 in this race, you've got to get a striker in January. I'm hearing Aubameyang's not going to be included at all until after AFCON, so he's not even training with the boys. He's doing his own personal training. So this one feels different to when Xhaka got his captaincy taken away. I don't think Oba has a way back into the side from what I see. I'll be very surprised if if he does, which is it actually burns me to say because I love Aubameyang.
Yeah, it looks messy. Sorry, what was your first question?
Sorry, first question. Am I being crazy to think that we can't bring?
Right? No, I don't. I don't think you're being crazy for thinking that. I think we can get a striker in January. I just don't think Arsenal will want to, because I think they'll look at a player like Calvert-Lewin or Vlahovic, whoever they're looking at, and they'll say that January premium's just not worth it. They'll think we can get by on Lacazette and Nketiah, Aubameyang if he is brought back in, Balogun if he doesn't go on loan, Martinelli up front. I think they'll think we've got enough to get through this season, and then it'll be next season's investment. I don't think. I'd be amazed if they go and spend the money, because they could bring in a striker, but I don't think they're going to spend more than 20-30 million in January on a player. That's just my gut feeling. Or it might be a loan. It might be a loan, but I don't know. Let's just go through the bench, because you mentioned Lokonga there. Leno, Holding, Chambers, Tavares, Cedric, Elneny, Pepe, Smith Rowe, and Nketiah. So welcome back, Bernd Leno. As you said, no Lokonga. Not really sure about that, but we'll have a little look. I'm going to try to find the Leeds United 11 as well. Did you think he was hard done by, Smith Rowe?
Okay, I don't think he's hard done by, but I'm a big Emil Smith Rowe fan, so I actually want him to be in the side. And I know that it's a good problem to have. You can't just shoehorn him in, but I really like Smith Rowe. I think when I did my 11 for the West Ham game, I'm sure I had Smith Rowe and Saka both on, Martin Odegaard on. I dropped Martinelli, which I know would not. I'm probably going to get a lot of heat in the comments for that, but I dropped him now realizing that was probably the wrong decision. However, I want them all in. It's a good problem to have. I think they're all great players at the moment, and I love watching them all play. I love Smith Rowe. I love Saka, and I love Martinelli right now, and Martin Odegaard as well. I've got to give him his props. But yeah, I don't think he's hard done by, because I expect him to feature at some point in this game. But I do really want Arteta to find a spot for him in his starting 11, but it's a good problem to have. I'm just going to read a super chat here from Bijou. Who says, I think Oba has been fully sacked, but we don't know, hence special training. I think we signed Dominic Calvert-Lewin in summer, but maybe in January midfield signing.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, the man, the myth, the legend himself has arrived. Let's bring him in, Mr. Lee Judges.
The Lee Judges. he's dancing.
Oh, he's not ready.
Oh, he's not.
He's still late. Oh, he'll be with you shortly. Don't worry, royalty in the building. Let's just go to the Leeds 11 quickly. Obviously, Meslier in goal. Drame starts at right back, and apparently it's his first Premier League start. Yep, that's what Leeds are saying. Luke Ayling, former Arsenal, starting at centre back with what's his first name? Robin Cox starts at centre back with Dallas at left back. Forshaw and Click in midfield. Rafinha, Roberts, and Harrison behind Gelhardt. So,
Gelhardt starts.
Do you know the one thing I'd say? I'm not trying to make excuses for Arsenal now, and I'm not trying to say, oh, they're actually quite good. But that's not an 11 of players I've never heard of. I'm not looking at that going, who the hell are these guys? Like Gelhardt's proving a very exciting young talent. Rafinha's a top player. Jack Harrison would be playing. Tyler Roberts, a very good player as well. Well, a promising player. Forshaw and Click get minutes even with the first team. Dallas, Drame is getting his debut, but I think he might have played against Arsenal in that League Cup game. And then Ayling, Cock, and Melee. Like, don't get me wrong, they've got a lot of players out, and there's absolutely no excuse for Arsenal not to win this game. But that's not like, when you have those games, and I mean all respect because they went and got a point. But when I tuned into the Everton Chelsea game the other night, I was like, who the hell are these guys? Like, I've never heard of any of these people. And I don't look at this Leeds 11 in that same way, but Arsenal should still get the job done. What do you make of it?
Yeah, let me get your score prediction quickly, James. We haven't done it. Let me get your score prediction quickly.
For the sake of my ritual, I went for a what did I go for? 2-2 or 1-1. But Arsenal really should win this. I'd be absolutely gutted if they don't. I just think Leeds always make it awkward. They need the points. It's always just tricky at Ellen Road, but obviously after what City did to them, you'd think that they're looking pretty open at the moment. Just to make my point, by the way, about Everton, they went into that game with Godfrey at left back. I know he's played there a lot, but he's not a left back. Branthwaite started centre back, so they went to a back three. Kenny started at right back. Gordon was on the left, and this guy called Sims up front. And then they brought on Gabamin, Dobbin, and Onyango. Like, who, with all due respect, I hope they go on to have great careers and well done on a great point at Stamford Bridge. But who the hell are they? Who the hell are they? They've done much more in football than I've done. But my point is, I don't get into this game looking at that Leeds 11 and thinking I've got no idea who these people are. So there's some quality there, and Arsenal need to be really switched on, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they've got talent in there, especially Rafinha being in there as well. He's like their key player, I think, in that side that they've got going. Gelhardt has been a great youngster from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, he looks very bright.
I think he's becoming definitely a Leeds favourite as well. He gets immersed in it when he scores as well. So I think it's going to be, James. It's going to be not as easy as everyone I think believes. I think it's not as easy as everyone's believes. I hear people saying 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, but
I don't think it's going to be that easy. Yeah. Let's hear what the judge himself has to say. Mr. Lee, judges, how are we?
Oh, what a mission this was!
Yeah, I know.
I hope this ain't as hard as what Arsenal are going to make this today. I'll tell you,
I know. Welcome to watch-alongs from home.
Aye, welcome,
First and foremost, Lee, how are you though? You're fit and well, and we're all good, yeah.
Fit and well. I just come back from so all good.
Well done.
Oh, decent. I'm jealous of that.
Well, I don't know about that. The picture's heavy, but it was good. It was good, and I've come back and seen. Listen, Peter, I can't believe it. All these games and players and teams dropping left, right, and centre, and Arsenal continue to go in with this. Well, we've got obviously not affected it whatsoever, because that's the team I think everybody would have expected to play. It's as strong as it can be, apart from, of course, Aubameyang not being there. So I think, listen, if Arsenal don't win this game tonight, switch me off, Brennan, please, because I will be furious. Absolutely furious if we don't win this game.
Lee, what are your thoughts on football going ahead? I made the point to Cecil that even if we look at it from just the footballing angle, so forget the health of the players, which is obviously the most important thing, but if we just put that to one side and we look at this from a fairness perspective, and touch wood, Arsenal win today and pick up more points. it's kind of advantage Arsenal, isn't it? Because we're putting points on the board and we're playing games as they're meant to come. A lot of other teams are going to be, we'll have played 4 extra games on Tottenham. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for having advantages on Tottenham, but they'll have to squeeze those in somewhere in the schedule. You don't know how COVID's going to affect them. A lot of players did test positive for it. So I guess my question is, do you think there should just be a circuit breaker to deal with whatever needs dealing with, and then everyone comes back at once?
Yeah, maybe it's a good point and all that lot. But listen, no one felt sorry for Arsenal when we had it at the beginning of the season against Brentford. They made us play, So I think
that's a really good point.
They set a precedent, and so you can't turn around and say that Arsenal had 4 players, right? So say, for instance, I don't know, just pick a random team. Spurs had 4 players. They say, all right, you can call the game off. If Spurs had 6, 7, 8, it's a different scenario. But I think if you've got 4 players down with it, you're going to have to play because they've set the precedent with what Arsenal done. So do I feel sorry for other teams? Not really, if I'll be honest. It's the way it is, isn't it? But listen, you can have it. I look at it 2 ways, and people can be a little bit fun. Say if there was bad weather everywhere, there could be games called off and other teams not, depending what part of the country you're at. And when people turn around and say, it affects the league because some teams have got 4 or 5. Look, I played in non-league football and teams have got 3 or 4 games in hand on everybody else, depending on pitches and whatever. No one's ever said, it's the integrity of the league, so we can't do this and can't do that. So I think that we're fortunate that we've not caught it at this moment in time, but we was unfortunate to catch it at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So,
fair point.
And for me now, this is an important result of game for us today, because I do feel that there may be after look. If you're calling teams something like Aston Villa have had to call, there's no way Aston Villa now can play Boxing Day because they're going to have to go into isolation for 10 days. It just can't be done. So I think that if we get this game done today, I think after this weekend, they maybe look at just saying, look, we're going to have to knock it on the head for Boxing Day. What that will happen with the cup games and all that, I do not know. Don't forget we've got cup games in the midweek.
Yeah, Tuesday we've got a game.
Big one.
I don't really know what's going to happen about it, But ultimately, if they're, it's happening everywhere. Like we know that we're doing this from here because there's guys gone down with it at AFTV. So what do you say? Right, don't come into work no more, or what? I think we've got to find a way somehow of getting through life with this. I don't think it's going to go away, guys. So I don't know what's the best way to go about it. Maybe a breaker of a week to let things go. But listen, I don't know. Like we're probably all fortunate in our lives that we've got family and friends around. But there's a lot of people that are on their own Christmas, and it's a depressing sort of time as it is. The football keeps them going, gets them out of the house, or they watch it. So you've got to think of that as well. So there's so many different scenarios. So to look at really,
there's a lot of variables.
Yeah, Boxing Day, if Boxing Day was called off, it wouldn't be the end of the world for me because I've got family and whatever. But for some people, it is, guys. So I think it's a real difficult decision's got to be made after today. It depends what happens tomorrow as well. I know, there's games scheduled for tomorrow. So it'd be interesting if that Spurs-Liverpool game goes ahead.
Yeah, great points. I agree. Whatever happens, guys, hope you're all sort of taking care of yourselves and looking after yourselves. That's the important thing. Stay safe and healthy. Lee, let's take it back to the football. Hope you don't mind me using you as an example for what many Arsenal fans were feeling. So this is hardly directed at you. But after Everton, it felt like the end of the tether for a lot of people. 2 wins, 2 clean sheets, 5 goals. Probably 2 of our better, if not best, performances of the season. On some of the best we played came in those 2 games. And now here we are at our first away game since that disaster at Everton. And do you know what? I want to say Old Trafford was a little bit of a disaster for the fact that we went 1-0 up, came back into it, looked the better side. How important is this for Arteta? It feels like every game we're saying it's crucial, it's important. But, if he's to drop points today, it only cements in my head what I think a lot of people are feeling anyway, which is this guy can do it on occasion, but he can't do it consistently enough for Arsenal.
100% agree. I'll go back to the game against Liverpool. Look, no one likes losing, but you can accept that the way you can accept a defeat at Anfield. You know, it's painful, but you can accept it. Even the Man United one was more, I would say, frustration, because I felt that we had a chance of winning that game and we sort of blew it a little bit with the way
And we played all right as well.
Yeah, we played all right, so it was more frustration. The game against Everton was inexcusable. The way we played, the way everything was done, was inexcusable. What I will say about the manager is now he kept the same team for the 2 games that happened. We've got 2 results. It's the exact same team that played away from home. Go out there now and start proving that you can do it away from home. And it's a different ball game away from home to home. I keep saying this, and people go, you know, it's the same pitch and all that, right, and the same grass and etc. etc. It is not. It's a different game. You have to defend a little bit more. You have to be more, I think, dogged. You have to show a little bit more about you as a player when you go away from home. So Arsenal need to have this test and get through it. Now, for me, after what happened at Liverpool, in Liverpool with Everton, I'm still not convinced that the manager can get these players doing it away from home. As from Mikel, I've always said it, he's one of the luckiest managers, the luckiest man alive, I think, like, you know, in life, you know what I mean? I really do think that.
Well, because of his hair, Lee, or because just being in the
He's got hair, he's got looks, he's got a nice wife, he's manager of Arsenal, he's a millionaire. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, he should have got sacked from Arsenal. He didn't. He's been a professional footballer. He's walked to the club at Arsenal. If I'm standing behind him when he's doing the lottery, I'm looking at his numbers, because I think that he's going to pull it up on one side.
Oh my days!
Alive, and I look at it now and go, after the 2 games against Everton, fantastic to have a home game against Southampton, which was with injuries that they had. It was a nice one, forget all that. The West Ham one, great to go in there. Everybody's going to be up for it. Great result. I don't think if you could pick two what I'd say, you know, pick two away games that you feel that you're going to win. You're going to go Leeds because of the way that they play and also the injuries that they've got at this moment in time, and bottom of the league, Norwich. Love and behold, what's our 2 games? Leeds and Norwich. Lucky Mikel again, like, you know, but let's don't blow it this time, like, you know what I mean? Because, you know, and that's what I feel about him. He's got a very, very good opportunity of nailing 6 points if it goes ahead on Boxing Day, of getting 6 points. And realistically, I think if you look at other teams, if you was watching Manchester United, Tottenham and all that, you would expect them to go and win those games. And, like, you know, I didn't think Manchester United played very, very well last week against Norwich and got the result. So, you know, if Arsenal produce and perform, they should get 6 points in the next 2 games, guys. And I think that they will today. If they perform well and play, and, you know, they should. That team there isn't a bad team on paper, is it? I've got to say that. You know, no. Exciting players in that team. We defend a lot better. So we should be getting better results than what we are in terms of it, like, you know, than what we did against Everton. In saying that, though, guys, as bad as I am and feeling about it, Everton went to injury as whatever and went to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge and got a result. So, yeah, it's a difficult league, I've got to say.
Do you know what? Just quickly as well, Ellen Road as well. I don't think we're gonna walk all over Leeds today. Like, Ellen Road's are going to be a tough place to go to. They haven't lost in the last 5 home games, Leeds as well. So we've got to be aware of it. I think they're going to be put up a quite a good side. But I do want to reiterate that Arteta has had a good run, in a sense, the fact that the teams we played, they also had, like you said, they have a lot of injuries. Everton was out Dominic Calvert-Lewin. When we played West Ham, they were without Zuma. There's loads of teams. When we played Palace and got the draw, they didn't have Wilfred Zaha. When we played the draw against Brighton, they didn't have they didn't have Basuma in there. Yeah. And plus, on top of that, we don't have middle of the week games as well. Like, Arteta should be winning these games comfortably. I know football's an odd game. It's not like that, but there's many teams we play that don't have their full strength squad, and this is the year to capitalize. So, yeah, I expect him to win today. It's a game that he could slip up on, but like Lee said, I'm not fully convinced yet. This December run will tell me a lot, and it's key for him to pick up some points.
Yeah, totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah. And that's a great point you say about Leeds, because whatever you say about Leeds, if you know people that have been there and all that, it is an intimidating place. It can get good an atmosphere in that. 5 games without defeat at home, that shows you like what they're like. But also, I think what you have to look at is that you know they've played quite well again. I thought that was very, very unlucky against was it
Chelsea?
Chelsea, very unlucky against Chelsea. And I'll tell you what, if they change their tactics against Tottenham and been a little bit more not so gun ho, I think they could have got something from Spurs. So there's a couple of things that you have to be a little bit wary about. But come on, they've got no forwards at this moment in time to But listen, we said that about Everton, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But if Arsenal play their game, do it properly, we should win tonight.
Yeah, agreed. Let's just look at the league table to round off the stream, just to sort of see where it could leave us. Because, things are obviously looking better. A win today would leave us on 32 points. What's that? 5 behind Chelsea, although they'd have a game in hand. It'd be Spurs all the way down to 7th, who'd have 4 games in hand on us. But I believe those 4 games would be Burnley away, Brighton away. Who are they meant to play? Leicester away, and then Liverpool at home. So they're not easy 4. But yeah, things are obviously looking a lot better. And I think win today, and we're definitely in the top 4 by Christmas. So look, I know it's slightly skewed with the sort of games that haven't been played and all that, but it's looking a lot better, and it could mean 10 wins out of 18. Could have been worse. It's a massive improvement on this time a year ago, isn't it?
It is. James, quickly before can I just read some of the super chats, because I feel like I've really let loads fly in and we haven't been able to read them quickly. So let me just run through. Richard, do you think Pepe could be converted into a striker? Quick thoughts on that, guys. No, you think it's out for me? No, but
I think he could be, but I don't think he will be.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm with James on that. I think he could be, and it's a position that if he really wanted to make Pepe work, he could actually give him a go in there. But it don't look like it.
Temi Top says with the new with the way Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe are playing, should be moving to a 4-3-3 with Xhaka or Partey in DM, and those two, Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe, as 8s. Saka, Laka, Martin as a front 3 ? We'll move on to that as well. We'll come back to that one in a second. Dev Singh says Everton goal scorer ain't even on FPL. I think it was when he was talking about. I think they're talking about when talking about players that you don't recognise. And then we're going to go to Shref. Thank you for super chat. Says Premier League players need to take the vaccines. Unacceptable. Everyone has to take it, but them not buying any reason for it. Going for Martinelli hat-trick today. Says Shref. Big up Shref. Sam says hide your wife, Arteta. Hide your wife, Arteta. It's judgment day. Dev is back with a super chat. Says we're going to end Leeds. Mark my words. Touch of Awesome says Nketiah is on the bench. I would have thought Balogun could be used in this game with 20 minutes left. I don't know. Should win today for sure. VJ says number 1, Oba came in January window, so we can get a good striker in this window if we are serious. Great point. Number 2 is I wanted Emile Smith-Rowe to play, especially as he is our leading top goal scorer. Also a very good point. Rohif says a win at a hostile environment like Leeds will do a lot to build up the character of these young lads. Need Xhaka and Partey to step up and lead. Big facts. And that is all the super chats up until then. Thank you everyone in the comments as well. Big up to you all guys watching on. There's 7,000 of you in here. Make sure you hit a like. Back to we're kind of wrapping up anyway, aren't we? Sorry guys.
Yeah, we're wrapping. Let's get some score predictions. I went with 1-1, 2-2, something like that. But that's more because I'm just a pessimist. Lee, what are you going for?
I'm going for Leeds 1, Arsenal 3. So I better be happy at the end of this night.
I would love that result, Cecil.
I love that result today.
I'd love that result as well. Lee, quickly on your do you do predictions on Invincible podcast with Robbie? Yeah.
Yes.
So have you done 3-1 for that as well? Yeah.
I have. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if I ever did like multiple shows, I would just change up the score and be like, I did say it.
Stick to my guns and stick to my beliefs. I'm currently top. Just want to say this: currently top of the Forever Arsenal league as well. Like just
flying ahead, absolutely.
Seriously, yeah, Lee, you're quite good at these predictions. To be fair, I was going to
go. Robbie's not beat me in any of these at the moment. I'm beating him again as we go into this round of games. So We shall see.
Yeah.
I don't know if we did Aston Villa. I don't think we did. So that don't count. But I think I went for 3-1. Robbie went for 2-0. So we're confident our end. James.
Yeah, I think.
What are you going for?
I think I'm going to go for 2-0. I was going to go 1-0. I think it'll be a bit of a cagey affair, but I'm going to go 2-0. I've liked being confident. Last game I predicted 2-0 and we got it. I said 2-1, but I said 2-0 and we got it. So I'm going to go 2-0 again. I think the boys should be able to get the job done today. I'm excited for this one. And yeah, hopefully, Lee, they're nothing like our green peas on the marble race.
Oh, you know what? They done 2 races in that, didn't they? And they showed you the we was absolutely rubbish in it. In the other one, I just want to celebrate. We actually got into second. Wow, we got into second. You know? And
top half, that.
Top half, you know what I mean?
Top half. Out of 4.
That race that they showed, well, was pathetic.
It's a fix. Robbie
with the P and the P, and we like to P it in. I thought, we smashed it, so we smashed it.
If you've not seen it, guys, that was the what's that, Lee?
I was just saying, isn't it funny that Robbie won it though?
Oh, it's a fix.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cecil. Like that, because he don't win anything else, but he won the marble race, which was fixed. There you go.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, we did the AFTV. Basically, contributed to YouTube's Escape 2021. Their kind of round off of the year on YouTube and stuff. So that was good fun. The 5-minute clip has been posted to our channel, so do go take a look and have a little look at some of the other stuff that YouTube have put out to celebrate this calendar year. As always, we'll be playing top squads at the start of the watch along. Lee will be back, Cecil and Turkish. I'll join you guys for the second half. They'll be playing Top Squad, of course. Do join that on AFTV VIP, which is at aftv.mobi. So yeah, jump in and play with us, and hopefully, players like Lacazette, Saka, Martinelli racking up a lot of points as they did against West Ham. That's pretty much it, guys. We'll see you in 15 minutes for the watch along. Yeah,
15 minutes. Yeah, all right.
I'm going to go and put my away kit on. I'm going to go and put
I hope it's in 15 minutes.
Silly blue today, isn't they?
Yeah, in the third kit.
No, maybe I'll stay like this then, so
I love that he's contemplating his wardrobe for the watcher.
Not happy whatsoever.
You need this one, Lee. For when he comes back against Lee. This is what you need.
That is a nice one, that one.
That is nice.
This is what you need.
Against Leeds, yeah, of course. Yeah,
Very nice.
Hopefully more of that. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. We'll see you in about 15 minutes, everyone.